What's up guys, I'm Bob Lee Swagger, back with episode 174 of Room Tour Project, the series where we show off some of the best gaming setups to give you some ideas and inspirations for your own setup. If you see anything you like in this episode, I'll have it all listed for you in the description down below so you can check it out. But let's kick off episode 174. First up, we have Dopess with a pretty dope dual monitor setup. That was unexcusable. Rocking the IKEA desk setup with the Alex drawers and the Carlby desktop. And I'm a big fan of that chair, even though I have no idea what it is. I don't think it's sold in the US. So for those two displays, they are both the AOC Agnon 32-inch monitor. They're 144Hz and 1440p. But where he redeems himself is with that Sony Bravia projector. He can have the image projected right above it, filling up that wall, kind of giving him like a third display, trumping any sort of massive overhead TV. As for the peripherals, we have the Corsair Strafe RGB keyboard with the Roccat Nith mouse. That's on the Razer Firefly Chroma mousepad. And as for audio, he has the Altec Lansing speakers on each side of the monitor, and they're kind of acting as like a temporary headphone hanger for him. On the left side are the Langston FA891 walnut headphones with the Superlux 668B headphones on the right side, which he modded to be wireless. Now unfortunately, he didn't submit any photos of his PC for whatever reason, but I'll get to the specs anyways. Tucked under his desk is the NZXT S340 Elite case, and inside is an Intel 8600K CPU with the Deepcool Captain EX240 AIO with 16 gigs of G-Skill Trident Z RGB RAM on an Asus Maximus X-Hero Z370 motherboard and an Nvidia GTX 1080 Ti with a custom backplate. Wish we could have seen it. But altogether, a pretty nice dual monitor setup that does a good job with symmetry, the lamps on each side, a nice clean desktop, and a nice job of switching up the wallpapers to complement and blend well with the RGB that he has going on at the time of his setup. Next we have Aaron, and this is a very clean and simple setup going with the single display. Really liking the overall look of this one. Yet again, we have an IKEA desk setup with the black Alex drawers, Carlby desktop, and a nice plant on the left side of the desk to go along with the wooden desktop. But getting into it, his monitor is the 34-inch Asus ROG Swift. Definitely one of the top of the line choices out there if you're just gonna go with one monitor. And you guys already know I'm a big fan of the Tomlin's wooden desk lamp right next to that. It's weird that I'm like a fanboy of a lamp, but I'll accept it. Random lamp P. Oh, I was stupid. Anyways, back to the gear. For his keyboard, it is the Logitech G613 wireless keyboard with the Logitech G603 wireless mouse on the Logitech G840 extra large mousepad, keeping the Logitech trifecta. But that love ends there, because under the desk is his Corsair Void wireless headset with the Sennheiser HD6XX headphones, kept on that same little headphone hanger there. You can see a little peek at his cable management, using one of those IKEA Signum racks to keep all the cables up and tidy off the floor. And his desktop speakers were the Audio Engine A2. Now over to that very tiny compact case. I love PC builds like this. This is the Ncase M1. We've seen it before and always looks so good on a desktop. And inside he has an Intel i9 9900K CPU with the NZXT Kraken X52 AIO. 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM on an ASRock Phantom X399 mini motherboard with an Nvidia RTX 2080 Ti. Man, that 990 definitely gets hot, so I hope it's cooled efficiently. Got some Noctua fans in there, so I'm sure they're pulling their weight. But that is a beast of a mini build. And I'm really digging the view of his entertainment setup. Kicking back in the living room with that massive mounted TV, looks really nice. Even got a cool little fish tank going on, a little aquarium over there on the right side. Definitely seems like a really chill space, which goes right along with his desk setup. Really big fan of this one here. Aaron's got some good taste. Next up is Ruben. Speaking of Ruben, I'm getting hungry. With the triple monitor gaming setup with the massive overhead TV. RGB peripherals, nice and colorful wallpaper, the Nanoleaf Aurora light panels. Check after check, checking off my checklist. This one definitely has that gamer look to it, which I think is pulled off nicely. A lot of times it can be kind of too aggressive, but I think it flows pretty well here. And continuing the trend, people, it's the IKEA desk setup. Now, as for those three displays, they are each a 27-inch Dell monitor, 1440p, 144Hz. That's pretty nice for all three combined. And that overhead then is a 43-inch Vizio 4K TV. You'll notice in the middle between the primary monitor and his TV is a soundbar. It's a Vizio soundbar that goes along with his TV, but he has it mounted there to get blasted in the face with his audio. Interesting mount choice. For his peripherals, we have the Razer Huntsman Elite keyboard with the Razer Mamba Elite mouse. They're sitting on a glorious extended mouse pad with the Astro A40 TR headset. As for his PC, on the right side, it's the NZXT H700i case inside an Intel 8700K CPU with the NZXT Kraken X72 AIO, 16 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM on the Asus Maximus 11 Hero motherboard with an EVGA RTX 2080 Ti FTW3 graphics card, looking pretty nice inside, nice and tidy. Speaking of tidy, a look underneath the desk. Great job again on cable management. The RGB light strip there to give the desk that extra back glow and that pop to it. And I have no idea what that thing is in the middle. Is it like a footrest? Not too sure. So a killer gaming setup here, no pun intended. Got the RGB all around, Nanoleaf Aurora light panels to add more glow. Even have back glow behind the monitors and the TV. And a very colorful wallpaper. Pretty good stuff here from Ruben. Now we've got LS Tech, and before I go any farther, people, if you're an Apple hater for whatever reason, get over it. Lots of Apple stuff here. So his main setup is the Apple Mac Pro with the 6-core version, which is hooked up to the Apple Thunderbolt display. Is a 27-inch panel here. Got them propped up on like a monitor riser, and on each side, his speakers, the Yamaha HS5. You can see an obvious kind of black and white theme going on with all the gear and peripherals and stuff. RGB light behind the desk, the Nanoleaf panels. It's almost a given at this point. Moving on over to his peripherals, we have the Apple wireless keyboard, the Apple Magic Mouse, the Apple trackpad, the Logitech MX Master Mouse, his iPods, the iPod Shuffle, and the brand new iPad Pro. That's a lot of wireless gear going on. I'm sure you can use that iPad as like a secondary display or just, as an iPad in front of him, but this is quite the desk setup. And then off to his right, more iPads, 3 iPhones, the Apple Watch. This guy has got all Apple stuff. I don't know how he does it. How do you use all 5 of these things at once? And you can see in the background his headphones, brace yourselves, Beats Studio 3. But what I really like is his crazy awesome entertainment setup. This is glorious. It's a 55-inch Philips TV, and underneath that in his shelving unit, all gaming stuff here, from the PS4, the Xbox, PS4 Pro, the special editions, all his boxes and gear. As a whole unit though, this space looks really, really nice. Even got the Nintendo Switch over here chilling, Logitech G433 headset. Definitely an optimal kind of entertainment space for gaming. So for his desk setup, more so productivity with all that Apple gear going on, not, what you think of for a gaming setup. Then he could turn around, chill in the entertainment center, kick back, and play tons of games. Last but not least, we have Nolan. And this one took a bit of creativity to pull together, and I love everything about it. Utilizing an L-shaped desk, he has 2 monitors side by side, sort of mounted on a bracket here to cut down on the overall bezel space, going for an obvious red and blue theme. And above his setup, he has these like metal abstract prints. Got a really cool texture kind of engraved into them, the RGB light strip behind it to make it sort of glow and stand out more. Now that's some wall art, people. For those 2 displays, they are the Alienware AW2518H, so a very popular 25-inch Alienware panel. But into his peripherals, he has the Corsair Gaming K95 Platinum RGB keyboard, the Corsair Glaive mouse, on the Corsair MM800 RGB Polaris. Again, all synced and going to that red and blue theme to complement his entire setup. And then for audio, the Logitech Z623 speakers, and off to the side he has the Corsair RGB headset stand, holding up his Beyerdynamic headphones, the DT990 Pros. Over to the PC, which is on the left side, again, utilizing that L-shaped desk. Traditionally, you see these on the right side, but here he's got it right next to him at all times. The NZXT 700i case in black and red. Inside is an i9 7900X CPU with the NZXT Kraken X72 AIO. 64 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM on the MSI X299 SLI Plus motherboard with an EVGA RTX 2080 Ti graphics card. I think this is the most RTX cards we've had on an episode so far. But with the RGB light strip in the PC, with the Corsair RGB fans, all blue and red, dedicating himself to the color scheme. So a bit of a different setup, but like I said, I really like it. It may not, be over the top like a lot of the setups we show off, and it's not even really on the minimal side either. It's a really great in-between gaming zone. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw this. From the matching color coordination all around, highlighted nicely by the wallpaper choice evenly spanned across both of them, he's doing the L-shaped desk justice. All right guys, that'll wrap it up for episode 174 of Room Tour Project. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget, check the links in the description down below of all the gear and hardware you saw listed down there for you, as well as some very simple instructions on how to submit your setup if you want to be possibly considered in a future episode of Room Tour Project. I promise you guys, the instructions are very easy. 95% of the people get rejected because they don't know how to follow directions. So check the links down below for it all. If you liked this episode, give it a thumbs up to show your support. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at randomfrankp. And last, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hope you all enjoyed. Have a good day.